Hi, I'm Louise Rash with Melee Trading Academy, Creating Salon Success. I'm here today with Sam, and I'm really excited. She's going to tell us all sorts about her exciting business. So thank you for joining us today, Sam.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So do you want to just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and sort of where you're at with things and what you do, please?
Okay, so I'm Samantha Humberstone, and I'm a Sheffield therapist. I've been in the industry about 36 years.
Wow.
And I know, I'm old. And
Don't look it.
I've had the salon since about 2004. So I own Lotions and Potions, and I'm a sole trader. So there's just me, there's no staff.
Yeah.
And I've been in my current premises since about 2009. Right. So this is sort of like my second set of premises since I started the salon.
Wow.
So I know.
Oh, and I have had the privilege of coming to visit, and it is so lovely where you are. It's just tucked away. It's so nice. Yeah. But okay, so I always start with a few little icebreakers, as I call them, known as. So just a few questions, just so we can get to know you a little bit more. So, what book are you currently reading? Whether it's personal development or educational fiction, whatever it is. What have you got?
Yeah. Nothing that highbrow, actually. I'm reading a book called The Woodsman, and it's quite a thin book, and I've read it many times. I love my horror. I love horror. So it's a horror book. So it's about this woman that goes on a date, and the guy gets a little bit drunk, starts to get a bit frisky with her. So as they're driving home, she's like, let me out the car, as women do. And she stomps off again, as women do, and then suddenly realizes, oh no, I'm in the middle of the woods and it's really dark. So she goes back to the car, but he's drove off. And then it's just how these two supernatural psychotic killers in the forest that track her down. And
oh, wow. Oh, that's a bit exciting, a bit intense, isn't it?
Yeah, so nothing educational, nothing highbrow, I'm afraid.
Oh, no, that's fine. We have to have a little bit of escapism, don't we? And reading is the best way to escape, isn't it? So,
definitely, yeah.
To step out of things a little bit sometimes. That sounds good. Okay, so who would you say inspires you, whether it's a family member, yourself, or somebody famous, or what do you think you're inspired by?
I would have to say it would be my dad. I lost my dad in January, and I would say it would be my dad, because he was nearly 90 when he died.
Wow.
And he lost his mum when he was 12.
Oh,
he lost his dad when he was 13.
Oh.
And in those days, in the early 40s, there was no help like there is now.
Yeah.
You know, and he didn't really have family as such, so he really had to bring himself up. So from the age of 14, he was knocking on doors looking for work.
Wow.
And throughout his life, he was always very. He did anything and everything. He travelled the country selling. He did market stock, literally anything. And he was always looking for opportunities. And he was known as a gentleman. Everybody that knew me, Dad always said, oh, he was such a nice guy. He was such a true gentleman. So I just think I would always say my dad, just because of what he did with his life and how he overcame. I mean, we can't even imagine it today, losing both parents at such a young age.
No.
And there's no help for you. There's no financial help or anything. You had to look after yourself, you know. So I'd definitely say my dad, yeah.
I don't blame you. It sounds like sounds like that's where you get your determination and, you know, to be in business from. We've got to seek out opportunities at every possible, you know, chance, haven't we? And especially obviously what we've gone through recently. Gosh, if that's not going to test people, then it sounds like an amazing guy. And you're right. We take it for granted now, don't we? How much help there is, and and almost like, without being rude, almost like we think we're entitled to that help and stuff, and you forget sort of back then. Now I remember my granddad, he was a window cleaner, and he was a really strong character, and just just went off, did his own thing, and it is quite inspiring when you think about it, because you just think, oh yeah, they were a window cleaner, oh yeah, they did that, but actually when you look at the time as well, for them to take the plunge and do something self-employed or whatever. So we're very, very lucky these days, aren't we? But,
aren't we?
Yeah, so he does sound like a very inspirational guy. So so what would you say lockdown has done with you and your business, or for you and your business? Obviously it's been a really, really difficult time. Would you say that you, I mean, I'm talking a bit of a light-hearted way at the minute, some people have, you know, like everyone became obsessed with exercise or some sort of food and or something or other, you know. I mean, some people just obviously liked a bit too much food, which we're all paying the price for now, but you know, some people got totally into exercise, didn't they? So what would you say, if anything, you became obsessed with? Or
unfortunately, as probably like everybody else, exercise, for the simple reason I found I'd got the time.
Yeah.
Whereas before you're always making an excuse, so I don't have time. For me, if you're not a natural gym person,
yeah,
then you make an excuse because you don't have the time. So for me, what I did is I turned my dining room into a little mini gym.
Oh, nice.
I just got like cheap equipment off eBay, second-hand treadmills and stuff like that. And I signed up with a personal trainer, and I did online sessions.
Wow.
And then I went to live sessions once we were all able to reopen, you know. Yeah. So, and that started off really as a personal thing for me. I've always sort of struggled with my weight, and at school I always thought I was fat. And looking back at photographs with one of my best friends, I was like, oh, I wasn't fat. I just developed very quickly. But at the age of 12, you think you're fat, you know.
Yeah.
So I've always sort of struggled a bit with my weight. And then I had a couple of strokes a few years ago.
Oh, gosh.
And they found out that they couldn't really find any reasons why, but they thought it might have been blood pressure. So since then, I've sort of been on, tried to be on a bit of a health kick. So at the moment, I've lost 5 stone. I've still got a long way to go. Still got a long, long way to go. And yeah, for me, I'd say I would never have thought it, but for me now, exercise and fitness has become an absolute part of my life. Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely.
So obviously lockdown has been horrendous for people in many industries, but obviously ours is one of them that I know I spoke to someone the other day and we were talking, and she was saying that she really did struggle and sort of almost got to breaking point during lockdown because of, obviously your business has gone from full strength to closed overnight, and it's and then it's that transition, isn't it, to what do we do? So, you know, good on you for actually finding that focus, and exercise is not a bad thing to be obsessed with, is it? You know, and it sounds like you're doing amazing, but at the same time you're taking it steady as well and doing it really sensibly with your blood pressure and everything. So so in a way something good's come out of lockdown then for you.
I mean, what I was concerned about with business during lockdown was obviously cash flow and that, but my concern was when we do all eventually reopen, are the clients going to be there? Because at the end of the day, there's not many women that are going to stop, you know, dyeing the hair, waxing, whatever, for 12 to 15 months. They will not do it. They will find other alternatives. And regardless of how much they love you and how fantastic a job they think that you do, if they find a way that is more cost effective, because a lot of people have lost their jobs during this lockdown, you know, it's more quick, they're not having to come and find somewhere to park. That was my concern, is how many of those mainly women will do that and stick with it, you know.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it has been a bit of a fear for many, and I think some people have come out and, you know, they're doing really, really well still, and then I know that there's a few people that have ended up closing or working from home instead, less overheads, and you've got to, it has been really, really difficult, and it is a worry. And I think a lot of people now are talking about multiple streams of income and realizing, like, I mean, obviously, you know, I've got my skincare range, but thank heavens I did, because that really kept me going through lockdown, and obviously my training and stuff like that we were still able to do online. And you have to find ways to transition. But if you've only got your salon, which obviously is fantastic, but it is, you know, a shock to the system to have that close overnight. So tell us a little bit about what you did then during lockdown to keep your cash flow coming in. How did you manage things? Because obviously we're spoilt in our industry in some ways, because there are so many avenues we can go down. But obviously it's knowing what to do, knowing something that fits and aligns with your passions, but at the same time fits and aligns with your business, because otherwise you don't want to be doing, I don't know, someone mentioned actually the other day when I was talking to them, we were having a similar conversation, and she said it'd be like going into cross stitch and being a makeup artist. They don't really, you're not got the same target audience, so it's about transitioning but keeping your audience as well, and that relationship that you've got with your clients. So what did you do?
So I, like you too, Louise, I've got my own skincare range and everything like that. So that sort of kept ticking over a little bit.
Yeah.
And I also, so bizarre, I also went into a bit of modelling as well.
Oh, wow.
So I found, I'm 51 this year, and as I say, I'm not skinny. So I just, it started off as a bit of a laugh. That's how it started off.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of progressed a little bit from there. Yeah.
Good for you. So what did you do then? Were you doing like some online, or how did you do it?
Just a little bit online, just finding some different sites. So I did sort of lingerie, but sort of like vintage, burlesque, gothic type. Okay. And then a little bit of nude. So yeah. So
wow, girl, you, that is amazing. And
so yeah, it just started off as a bit of a joke amongst friends, and then it just sort of led a little bit from there, you know. So
well, you've got it, flaunt it, and if you can get paid for it as well, then bonus. Good for you. I love that. Do you know what? We've got to do what we've got to do, haven't we? And you know what?
You gotta do. Yeah.
If people want to pay, and that is amazing. Good for you. That is one thing I would never have thought of. I'm quite jealous now. I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Good for you.
Yeah, like you, it was just looking at different things, because again, you've got the time.
Yeah.
You know, because I like you, I went from working full time in a salon to not.
Yeah.
You know, and for over 30, that's all I've ever done, really, you know. So all of a sudden you've got all this time that you look at other things and you see other people doing things. And also at that time, everything was online, wasn't it? You know, I mean, we're used to online with business, we do a lot of stuff online, but a lot of people weren't, you know, 15 months ago.
Yeah.
A lot of people coming online using, you know, Kicks and Zoom and Telegram, that I'd never really done this before. So you were meeting lots of different people from all over the world as well. That was, you know, you're thinking, oh, that's a good idea, and just listen to what people do and different people's ideas. So, you know.
Yeah, do you know, I've never really stopped, actually. I know that sounds silly and thought about it, but yeah, during lockdown, we were given this amazing opportunity to, like you say, have the time, search the internet, do stuff, and probably hear things that you would never normally hear, or investigate and look at things that you'd never normally have the time to do. So yeah, I suppose in a way it's been quite enlightening, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, been quite different, hasn't it? Yeah,
definitely. So where are you at in your salon now then? What would you say has happened since we've been able to reopen, and what have you been doing?
So for me, I got a little bit smug and I got a little bit cocky, because in a lot of the groups I'm in, a lot of the salons were saying, has anybody noticed this new breed of client that's coming through, where they're not showing up for appointments, they're wanting discounts? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. And then it happened to me.
Oh, gosh.
And I now know what they mean, because for the last few weeks ago, for about 2 or 3 weeks, I got those type of clients inquiring that, you know, you just get you know what I mean, Louise, you get this gut feeling, you know, they're not going to turn up, and they're wanting discounts. And, you know, my husband's got a beard, so he don't want all his face doing. I've got a small face, I'm a student, literally everything. I've only got 3 blackheads, and I just thought, do you know what? I'm in my 50s. I've never really done offers as such. I don't want to start doing them now.
No.
You know, everybody's sort of struggling with money at the moment. I've got to make sure that when I go into the salon, it's viable for me to open those doors, you know. So I actually went the other way, and I put my prices up. I really streamlined my treatment list, which I've done gradually over the last few years, but I've really streamlined it. And I now insist on new clients a £10 non-refundable booking fee. Regardless of circumstances, that's it. I don't do the 24-hour cancellation. It's like as soon as they book it, because my tattooist, when I go and see my tattooist, I have to pay a £20 non-refundable booking fee.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, well, there's other businesses that are doing this, you know. And I was also hearing and seeing such a lot of the hospitality industry that were fully booked, but then the night they were fully booked, 6, 8, 10, 12 tables not turning up.
Yeah.
You know, and businesses, we can't afford, when we're an appointment-based business, we can't afford that to happen. You know, we just can't. Because we've still got all our overheads to pay, whether the clients turn up or not, you know.
Definitely.
The gas company's not interested. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't have 4 clients turn up today.
It's true. And we have to get, I think lockdown, this is just my opinion, and I know it'll differ for many people. A lot of people say it's brought out people's kindness, although it has, but I feel like I've seen a lot of people's really selfishness, and it's all about me. And our people who are in our industry, we're very giving people, so we sort of just take a lot of things on the chin. And I think we've got to be a little bit brutal now and really kind of just go, no, we deserve people to turn up and value ourselves. And too many of us are too scared in case that client doesn't turn up. But then I think if they don't turn up, they're not your audience anyway.
Exactly. I've seen a lot of people say, no, I know, but you'd lose a client. I'm like, but they're not a client.
Yeah.
Because if they're not going to turn up and you miss that appointment, or they're wanting discounts, they're not a client.
Definitely.
They'll go to anybody that offers them a discount. So so I put my prices up. And then bizarrely for me, I've always done lots of skin, but I've always done lots and lots of waxing, especially intimate waxing. I think because I offer for intimate waxing, I offer both the strip wax and the hot wax.
Yes.
Not many people do that. So I've always done lots and lots of intimate waxing. Since I've opened, I found it's the skin treatments. So like tomorrow I'm back in the salon. I think I've got 6 facials in tomorrow.
Right.
So I found it's the skin treatments that I've overtaken the waxing since we've reopened in April.
Right.
A little bit last year, but it's mainly been this particular lockdown since we reopened. So I streamlined the treatment list. I got rid of tinting.
Good for you.
Because I've found, and I've been hearing from lots and lots of people that people, even though they're having patch tests, they are still reacting. They're not sure if it's people that have had COVID or it's the jab, and I just thought, you know what, I don't want to deal with that. It's not worth the hassle, the insurance. I just don't want to go there.
Yeah.
So I just got rid of everything, and I now literally do my skin treatments, my waxing, and my pedicure, and that is it. That's all I do now. You know.
Good for you. I love the fact that you've streamlined. People are shocked that my salons, we've stopped doing nails. It's never been my passion. I've always been more holistic based, and obviously I've got my spa and everything, and that's where the problem I was finding was we were so busy doing nails we couldn't fit spa people in. So this spa that I built is sat there kind of doing nothing because I'm so busy doing other things. And for me, I don't think nails are very profitable anyway, so I don't think it's worth it sometimes, but obviously you've got it, if you're passionate, that's different. So good for you. We stopped doing them. We've got a couple of like regular clients that we still do, but I don't do them. But generally speaking, we don't do them. They're not on the price list. You can't book in for them. And it's, you know what, the salon's doing amazing. And I think when you streamline and you make it more about what your passion is, you're delivering a much better service. Not that you ever didn't, but you're delivering a much better service, and clients are buying into what you're about, rather than being the jack of all trades. I think it's good then, because clients know what they're coming for. They're like, right, I'm going to go and see Sam because she does this and she knows what she's doing. And that's what's important, isn't it? And again, I think it's a fear thing that we dare not offer stuff in case they go somewhere else. But
it is difficult because, like and I trained in the 80s, and when you trained back then, you literally trained for every treatment known to man. And they taught you everything. And I can remember my old prices, they were actually books, because you did that many different treatments and then variations of all those different treatments, and it is a bit weird when you come from that type of background to suddenly like streamline down to just a few treatments, but it's got to be profitable. It's got to be worth your while. And what I did with my waxing, again, is apart from full leg and apart from the bikini waxers, all the waxing, they have to have with at least one other treatment.
Good
so
for
somebody can't just come in and have an underarm wax, because it by the booking the time out and the cleaning of the area, it's as long as for me to do that for an underarm as it is for Hollywood wax. Whereas 12-15 quid for an underarm, whereas 35 quid for Hollywood wax, there's no comparison in the same amount of time. So I've done that as well. I wanted it really where, apart from the bikini waxers, because they are very popular, every client that comes through my door, I know that treatment wise, they're spending a minimum of £30.
Good for you.
And you've got to do it.
Absolutely. And I think it's a really good way to be. And actually, I must have said something to one of my clients. She's a really regular, and I've known her for absolutely years, but she booked in for a massage as well as her waxing, and she's not been getting me each time. And she went, well, I booked in for a massage. She says, because you made a comment last time and said, oh, I'm not doing piddly treatments anymore, like the odd, by that I meant odd eyebrow. I mean, obviously I know her well to talk to her like that.
Yeah.
But I laughed and I went, what do you mean? And she said, well, I thought I won't get in with you if I don't at least book a massage as well. And then it just so happened she did get with me as well. But like you say, her treatment had gone from sort of like a quick 15 minutes plus your cleaning to her whole thing was an hour, and then she'd booked in for way more, and it was way more profitable. So I thought, oh, actually my little sort of jokey behaviour with her worked out quite well. So yeah, I think sometimes be brave and do it, because if they want to book, they will.
Well, at the end of the day, if you've only got 4 clients in a day and they're spending a minimum of £30, and then rather that than 6 clients wanting to just spend 10 and 50, it's like, well, you know, I'd rather. And I've got my hours as well. I now only open Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, but at the moment I'm concentrating on Fridays and Saturdays.
Good for you.
You know, because there's other things that I'm wanting to do, and I think as well what clients, and well, not just clients, probably what people. And I'm sure it's like this in other industries, don't understand is the cost of our PPE that we've always used way before COVID. You know, I've always worn aprons and masks and gloves. All of a sudden, the box of gloves that we normally buy are 6 times the amount.
I know.
And that's just for a box of gloves. That doesn't include the masks and everything else. I'm thinking, but I can't put my prices up 6 times because nobody would come. And I think that's what people don't understand is the cost. Not just that we've been closed, and all right, I know some of us have had help from the government, which I'm very grateful for, because I know some countries have not had any help at all. But even so, that constant cash flow has not been there. But the cost of a lot of our stuff, what we have always used and need to use, has risen so much. You've got to look at making sure that your treatments are viable. You know,
absolutely, yeah. And I suppose it's better to wear one pair of gloves for one client for an hour than, you know, continually changing your gloves, because like you say, that was my first shock, that the gloves, I was like, what? When I found out the new prices, just I must admit, comprehend it.
I did have a little cry at one point during lockdown, because when I saw the prices, and I said to my other half, I actually don't know if I can afford to reopen.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were like that.
I was so shocked at how just all the PP just went straight through the roof. And I was like, but if I can't afford to buy this stuff, I can't do the treatment, you know.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'd got a friend who was in a global business that did PP. So I bought in bulk. I spent quite a lot of money, but I bought in bulk at the time. And I'm glad I did. You know.
Definitely.
But even now, they've come down a little bit, but they're still a lot higher than what we've always paid, you know.
Yeah. Definitely. So it's a bit unfair, isn't it? But we've got to do what we've got to do, I guess, and all that. So what are you doing with your other days of the week then? Have you got any other business ideas, or are you still doing more modelling? What are you doing?
Well, I think I've still got a long way to go with fitness. So I've still got about another 4 stone that I want to lose.
Right.
But I'm really enjoying it. So I go to 3 different gyms. So my passion is boxing. I love boxing.
Okay.
So I go to a gym that deals with mainly boxing and kickboxing. There's some women that go, but I'm normally one of the only women in the classes. But the guys are absolutely amazing and fantastic.
Yeah.
I go to another gym then for sort of the gym equipment and swimming, and then I've just joined a bodybuilding gym. So I'm looking at options within fitness, but I think once I've lost a bit more weight, I'm quite interested in going down the fitness route and sort of maybe looking at training in fitness, because I've been there. By the stage I get to my target weight, I will have lost probably about 9 or 10 stone.
Wow.
So I've sort of been there, I've done it. And I think with fitness, at the moment, the industry is inundated, especially online, with fitness and advice and do this, do that. I've learned from having lots of different personal trainers and going to lots of different gyms, you've got to find out what actually works for you.
Yeah.
Because it's very, very different, and depends where sort of what you want, areas you want to lose weight and things like that. So that's what I'm sort of doing at the moment. I'm sort of researching what's working for me and what's working for the people. And I can see myself going down that route, you know, and maybe keeping my beauty side to 2 days a week, and then maybe doing something to do with fitness 2 to 3 days a week, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant, because then at least as well you've been there, done it, kind of thing. So and you've got evidence as well. So people will then be inspired by that, won't they? Because and it's good, because that's kind of aligning with obviously the beauty side, as in looking after yourself, your health and well-being. Because you and I know you can put as many products on your face as you like, and as fantastic as products are, a lot of your health and well-being it shows on your skin, doesn't it? So if you're not feeling good inside, then it's all on display, kind of thing, on your face. So if you can look after yourself inside and your fitness, it's going to help with your health and well-being on your skin as well, isn't it?
And I think it's important that you've got that experience as well. Like you said, I will have been there and done it, and you can't beat experience. You just cannot beat it, you know. And I'm obviously of a certain age now where I'm going through sort of hot flushes and things like that. And, you know, so again, it's little things like that. It's just life experience in general, isn't it? That just helps. And I think sometimes people look at it and think, oh yeah, she's been there, she's done that. She's a bit of an old boat. So I'll, you know.
People like it though, don't they? You know, like in the salon, people more prefer if you've got that experience and life experience, because they feel comfortable talking to you. They feel like you get it, and you're not, you know, I mean, obviously we were all young therapists at some point, but some of my clients have said to me before, oh, I prefer it when you don't wear makeup, or when you don't do this, because you're just one of us, Louisa. And you know, it's about making people feel comfortable in their skin as well, and stuff, isn't it?
I had a client walk in, not last year, the year before, what new client walked through the door, and she went, oh, I'm so glad you're not thin and young.
They have such a way with words, don't they?
I'm glad the extra cakes make you feel comfortable that I ate 10 years ago.
Brilliant. I love some of the things clients come out with. A client came into my old premises once, and she says, Louisa, I've recommended someone, I've told her it's not a posh salon, she'll be fine. And I went, oh, okay. And she went, no, it's meant as a compliment that, you know, you're down to earth and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but you know, at first you're like, oh, I can be a posh salon, you know, but at the end of the day, we're a working. I always say I'm a working salon. You know, we're busy, and you know it's nice, but you know at the end of the day, it's not all about the chandeliers and stuff. As nice as that is, but you know.
No. It is quite funny actually what some clients. It's funny, but it's actually quite good sometimes what clients do say, because from their point of view, it makes you look at things different. So I've got an after wax product that I sell, and I was making quite a good profit on it. So you know, I didn't sell it at a ridiculous price. But I had several clients said to me, "Is it any good, that, Sam? Because it's quite cheap." I was like, "Okay." So I put it up. So I'm like. So I was making even more money on it, but they seemed happier to pay more. You know, obviously their perception is it was too cheap to be effective, you know.
Yeah, and people think that. And you're like, I'm just trying to do right by you. And actually, it's somehow making them feel like it's not good enough. So, you know.
So sometimes I think with clients, it's the little things what they say that you pick up on that actually do really help you, you know.
And I think that's what makes a good business, isn't it? You know, it's all about part of your customer service, isn't it? So rather than being offended by what your clients say, listen and think, oh, okay. And how can you put that into practice? Or, you know, it's like paying attention. And I think that's why my business has been so successful over the years, because I do try and listen. I mean, sometimes, don't get me wrong, what they say is quite gutting and, you know, or cutting, whatever. But it is what it is. You have to get broad shoulders and take it on the chin, don't you?
You do, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, so since we're talking skincare and products and stuff, what would you say is one skincare product or makeup that you couldn't live without?
I am strict with my SPF, I must admit. I do use Factor 50 all year round. I use it on my tattoos so my tattoos don't fade. I don't go through that pain and amount of money for them to fade. So,
absolutely.
But again, I do use my SPF all over. all year round. Yeah,
definitely. It's a good product to get into the habit of using, isn't it? And you know, you can have as many miracle products as you like, but you can't beat SPF for anti-aging, can you? Because it's protecting.
Yeah.
So it's doing what we need it to do. But fab. And okay then. So what if, obviously, hopefully we don't go through a lockdown again, but what piece of advice would you leave our listeners with about business, about the salon? Because obviously you've taken on quite a few different things and you're able to put them all into practice, like keeping your cash flow going. And I think a lot of people will be interested in that. So have you got any advice on how you'd tell somebody else to find multiple streams of income? Or
I would say to people, the best thing to do is look at your business, you know, and look at other people's business. There's nothing wrong with pinching other people's ideas, providing you do it to your own sort of business and put your twist on it. So look at your business and how you can, like, not so much change your business, but splinter your business into different variations and things like that. But also be open and look at other things. It is very difficult. Like I said, I've only really, apart from when I was training, when I did, you know, waitressing, and I worked on a farm, I worked behind the bars, you do supplement income when you train. I've only ever known beauty. You know, that's all I've ever done. So I think another reason a lot of people found it hard was because we deal with clients and we can see 4 clients a day, we can see 15 clients a day. All of a sudden, not only is your business taken away from you, but that social aspect of seeing clients, boom, that stopped overnight. You know, so you end up like billing home mates. You literally, like, I'm not seeing and speaking to the amount of people I normally do.
Yeah, so, it's quite lonely, wasn't it?
It is, yeah. So I think look at your business and the way you can alter and change and add on things. Also look at things you can get rid of in your business that you've got to put your business head on. It doesn't matter your passion, doesn't matter if you like doing something. I think you've got to put your business head on and think, do you know what? Those treatments or those clients, whatever they are not viable for my business. They're no good. I'm not really making any money from it. It's not taking me anywhere. So as well as looking at adding to your business, you've got to look at taking things away from your business as well. You know,
that is so brilliant advice. I completely agree. And you know, since we've taken certain things off and it is more profitable, we've actually got more time on our hands, which in one way you look and think, oh, we're not very busy, but then you look at the monetary side and you think, oh, but the money's okay. So it's nice not to be running around like a headless chicken. And not just for me, because I was fine anyway, but my staff, I actually think they've got a much better working day, and they're not, obviously it's hot at the minute, so they are leaving hot and bothered, but they're not leaving hot and bothered or feeling flustered. They just think, okay, I'm all composed, I've had a good day. And I think it's really good advice. Take some things off if they're not viable.
Because we can make very good money. That's another reason it's very difficult in our industry, because I was speaking to somebody in the industry a few weeks ago, and he was saying he's thought about coming out of the industry for quite a number of years, but he specialises in waxing. And he said to me, the trouble is though, Sam, where can I earn 50 quid for 15 minutes work? What other industry, unless you're something like a surgeon or a barrister, or, you know, what other industry that I don't have to retrain in or heavily retraining, can I earn that amount of money? And he's right, because I've looked at it like that as well, you know. And you think, well, she's just been in for Hollywood wax. It's only took me 15 minutes and I've got £35. I know your overheads have got to come off that. I know that's gross, but even so, where else can you earn that amount of money? So it's a bit of a catch-22 being in this industry, you know.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. But I think you have to look at it then very business-like you said, because it's so easy to think, oh, I'm not doing it, or but there's so many transitions that we can do, and it's just about having confidence in doing that though as well, isn't it? And having faith in yourself that it will work. You know, since we've stopped doing nails, honestly, we have got more of the profitable treatments and not running around like headless chickens, and the money's still there, and it means there's space to fit all the clients in as well. So, you know, as lovely as nails are, there's so many people doing them now. They're 10 a penny, and you've got all the other shops opening, you know, and they just solely do nails. And I think sometimes, maybe unless it's your passion, let them focus on that, and you find your niche that's going to earn you, like you say, £35 for 15 minutes work.
Yeah. I was the same with nails and spray tan. With gel nails, it got to the stage where even if you're quite quick at gel nails, there's still a certain amount of time you've got to book out for that.
Yeah.
And I've got salons around me, not that I compete with salons around me, but you've got to be sensible. You've got to look at it from the public's point of view. And they're offering like gel nails for like £12 and £15. I'm like, that's just not worth me even doing it.
No,
and the same with spray tan. There were some salons offering spray tans for like £8, you know. And I'm like, nah, you know, it's just not worth. No.
Definitely, you just can't, can you? So I think, you know what, create a niche in your salon that you are known for, become that expert, and people will come to you for that treatment. And then, you know, plus you don't have to keep all the stock either, do you? You know, if you offer everything, you have to keep the stock for everything, and that's expensive if it's just sat on your shelf.
Yeah, so. That's nothing I did in the recession in 2008. The recession didn't actually hit me for a couple of years. Whenever it was really quiet, I was still ticking along quite nicely. So what I did is I really looked at my suppliers, and I searched for cheap, just for the generic suppliers, like, you know, wax strips and couch rolls and things like that. And I really researched the suppliers, and I'm so glad I did, especially with lockdown.
Yeah.
You know, so it's even little things like that. Keep on researching your suppliers. And it's not just about the cheapest. Obviously, the suppliers have got to deliver and give you the goods when you need them. But you know, it's just looking at all the little aspects of the business as well, you know.
Definitely. There's a lot of parts to it, and that's why I'm always talking about with my group working on your business, because it's not just a case of doing your accounts. It is sometimes you've got to research these things. You can't just buy the first thing that comes along, because you might end up paying £5 for a box of spatulas, you know, and that's not good, is it? Do you know what I mean? You've got to save these. What is it? Take care of the pennies and the pounds look after themselves.
That's it.
It's so true. But it's been so lovely speaking to you, Sam, and you know, it's so nice just to talk to somebody who's in the industry and who knows exactly where we're all coming from.
So thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem.
Appreciate it.
It's been great.